In this video, we're going to explore the truth about what it actually means for you to have a low or a high vibration and why bad things happening don't mean that you manifested them. This is actually a misconception and a misinterpretation of the teaching. So, hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm reading from a script. This is something that I wrote. I wanted to make sure that it was clear and articulate, so I hope you'll stay tuned. We are exploring a huge misunderstanding in the spiritual community. There is an oversimplified idea that your vibration creates your reality. And the way it's often used is to imply that if something bad happens to you, you must have attracted it. That your trauma is somehow your fault, or you could avoid suffering if you were a more high vibe person. This is not only inaccurate, it is spiritually immature and deeply harmful. So today we're going to untangle what is true about vibration and what isn't, and how the real teaching is actually about co-creation, nervous system healing, and embodied responsibility, not blame. All right, so let's explore the misinterpretation. In many spiritual spaces, vibration gets boiled down to a moral messaging stick. High vibration equals good, low vibration equals bad. Good things happen to good vibes, bad things happen to bad vibes. That's not spirituality. That is purity culture with crystals. It mirrors the same old religious pattern that if you suffer, you somehow did something wrong. Trauma survivors hear this and they internalize, what happened to me was my fault. And this is absolutely false, spiritually, psychologically, and neurologically. So let's break down what vibration actually means. Let's bring this back to grounded reality. When mystics talk about vibration, they're talking about your nervous system state being either regulated or dysregulated. They're talking about your emotional tone. They're talking about your openness versus your constriction. They're talking about your level of presence. And lastly, they're talking about your connection to love, compassion, and awareness. So this is not a moral status. It is not something that you need to earn. It is simply the state that your system is in. A person with trauma isn't low vibe. They're carrying wounds that shaped their physiology. A person who has healed their trauma isn't better. Their nervous system is simply more regulated. All right, so let's break down this concept that you are creating your own reality. The truth is actually you are not creating your own reality. We are co-creating reality together all the time. We are each an expression of consciousness, but we are each separate, which means we create together. There isn't one being me creating everything around me. There is many beings as the one face exploring what it is to co-create together as separateness. So here's the truth. You do not create your reality alone. You create in a field of reality that includes other people's choices, other people's wounds, and free will of all. So even Yeshua, who's known as Jesus, didn't create reality alone. If he did, he would have never have been killed on the cross. He was constantly interacting with the collective human field. This means you can be in a deeply healed state and still cross paths with someone who isn't. You can be centered and still experience external chaos. You can be regulated and still encounter someone who is dysregulated. This is not a failure, and this is not a reflection of your vibrational state. This is life in a shared ecosystem. Your vibration isn't a force field that keeps you safe from everything and everyone else. Your vibration actually is what determines how you interpret the experiences, how you respond to the challenge, how quickly you recover, and whether or not you repeat old patterns that are unhealthy or you create new ones that are healthy. Suffering may still happen, but you are no longer defined by it. All right, so let's break down how a healed vibration changes the impact, not the event itself. This is what most people in the spiritual community talking about vibration leave out. Healing does not guarantee ease. Your vibrational state does not guarantee that you are only going to experience high vibrational interactions. What it does guarantee is that you will experience clarity and resilience. You still interact with the world that is at various levels of healing, but you have better boundaries. You trust your intuition. You respond instead of reacting. You don't take on other people's projections. You don't spiral into shame. You stay anchored in your worth. Your vibration affects your inner reality first, and your outer reality second. It doesn't prevent challenges, it does transform your relationship with them. This is where empowerment is real and not delusional. All right, so let's break down the real purpose of raising your vibration and what it actually means to raise your vibration. Okay, so raising your vibration means you do not bypass your trauma. You have to actually look at it. It doesn't mean that you avoid and ignore pain. It means you have to feel it. It doesn't mean you have to become spiritually perfect. It means that you recognize when you were out of alignment and you bring yourself back into alignment. The real purpose of spiritual vibration raising is to cultivate a nervous system and a consciousness capable of responding from love rather than fear. This is what high vibration means. It means you're experiencing the world through the lens of understanding that everybody's at their own level of healing, everybody is divine, everybody's doing the best they can, and you're going to choose to respond with boundaried love. So to cultivate a nervous system in this way means that you are creating inner clarity and clarity about what you are seeing in the world. This leads to discernment, where you can recognize that somebody is not inherently bad because they do something harmful. They are engaging from unhealed wounds, and you can see their inner light, but you can respond with love, compassion, boundaries, grace, and mercy. It means that your boundaries are clear, they are concise, they are respective of your free will and others. It means that you are in alignment with the truth that all beings are sacred and that all beings are co-creating together at the level of healing and consciousness that they have managed to achieve. That you can have healthy relationships and you understand what a healthy relationship is, and then you choose whether or not to engage with people who can meet you where you are at or who keep continuing patterns of own unhealthy wounds. Okay? This is what is emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is the ability to recognize what you are feeling, to name it, to regulate yourself, and to respond from a regulated nervous system, not a deregulated nervous system. It doesn't mean that you don't feel your feelings. You have to feel your feelings to release them. It doesn't mean that you don't share how the other person made you feel. It means you no longer react and cause them harm because you are having an emotional response to something they did. This is what deep intuitive access looks like. It is a sense of being guided rather than being lost. This is what co-creation truly means, the way the mystics intended it. All right, so let's put this simple test into action. Let's see whether you're experiencing contraction or expansion. And here is how we tell this, okay? So does this teaching create contraction or expansion in your body? Does the way that I explain this make you feel shame? That is contraction. Does it make you experience self-blame? That is contraction. Does it lead to you feeling fear of doing it wrong? That is contraction. Does it leave you feeling like you are fundamentally flawed? That is contraction. Okay? I believe the way that many spiritual teachers teach vibration leads to this contraction because it somehow implies that you are creating your suffering, and that is not accurate. So that is not a spiritual truth if it leads to contraction, because spiritual truth leads to the opposite. It leads to expansion. So my way of presenting this is compassionate. And does that lead to your body feeling an expansion? I think it does. Is this including that you have to have responsibility without blame? It does. That is expansion. Does it invite in courage? Yes, that is expansion. Is it from a place of love versus fear? Yes, that is expansion. And does it lead to a deeper sense of connection to the divine within yourself and the divine within others? Yes, that is expansion. I believe that this is the true teaching, and I believe your body always knows what is true based on whether you contract or whether or not you expand. So yes, your vibration does play a role in your reality, but not because you deserve good or bad, because your level of healing influences your experiences in the world. You are not being punished because of your vibration. You are supported by your level of healing. You are not to blame for what happened to you, but you are empowered in how you move through it, how you heal. We are co-creating together, all of us, and your healing contributes to the healing of the whole. All right, let's put this in practice. I invite you to sit or stand with your feet grounded. Bring your attention to your heart and your lower belly. Think of the spiritual teachings that you grew up with, that you must earn forgiveness, that your vibration calls this. And notice your body. Does your chest tighten? Does your throat constrict? Do you collapse inward? That's contraction. That's your body saying, this is not aligned. Now think of a compassionate, empowering truth. I co-create with the divine. I can respond from healing. I am inherently worthy. Notice your body again. Is there more breath? Is there a softening? Is there a warmth? That is expansion. That is the body saying, this is truth. Your body is a tuning fork for spiritual integrity. If you found this teaching helpful and you want to learn more, or if you're ready to embark on your journey of healing, I invite you to read my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, which is available on Amazon and other online platforms. It is a compassionate approach to understanding yourself on a deep level, as well as understanding the world that we are co-creating together, and how to heal and recognize within yourself what is creating contraction, and how to reparent and release it so that you can train your nervous system and rewire your brain to be in a regulated state. And that is how you raise your vibration. I'm sending you deep love and appreciation for who you are, how you shine your light, how you express your understanding of the divine. No matter where you are on your healing journey, know that you are loved, know that you are worthy, and know that it is safe to come home. It is safe to heal.